All right, Chris, what do you love about this?
Well, I like that Boston got the best player in this deal. And they got a player that is not only going to help them this year, but I think motivated to stay there long term. I mean, Kyrie Irving is 25 years old. Gordon Hayward is, 27 years old. I mean, they now have the foundation, the core of a team that, might beat Cleveland this year and certainly is the heir to Cleveland going forward. So I like this deal. I like it for both teams. Don't get me wrong, but I like this deal a little more for Boston.
Did Boston give up too much?
No, because at some point you have to stop protecting all these assets. They've had deals kind of fall apart over the last couple of years because they couldn't, come to some kind of agreement on how many draft picks they were going to be willing to give up. I know that they've been sitting on Anthony Davis for a while, hoping that New Orleans could eventually decide to trade him after next season. But when an opportunity comes around to get a guy that is, a top 5 point guard in the NBA, a guy that's proven he can make shots in the playoffs, be a clutch player in the playoffs, you've got to jump on it. So they gave up a lot. But let me tell you this, Dan. I don't think this Nets pick is going to be quite as good as people think. I think the Nets, I don't think they're a bottom 5 team next year. I think they might be 6 or 7, but I don't think they're a bottom 5 team in the NBA. So if you're just giving up the 6th or the 7th pick, I think that's a risk worth taking.
Oh, yeah. If it turns out it's higher than the top 5, then absolutely. But if that ends up being the number 1 pick, then maybe that changes the grade that we'll give this trade.
I do love the Marvin Begley fans, Dan. Ask the people like 2 weeks ago who Marvin Begley was. They would have no idea. Now it's like, oh, my God, how dare you move off Marvin Begley?
Is this more likely scenario that LeBron stays or goes?
No, I think if you have to bet on anything, you're betting on him leaving after 2018. I don't know what's going on in Camp LeBron right now, but I do know that they're not going to be waiting until next summer to have a strategy in mind. If you recall when the Miami Super Team came together, the genesis of that was the '08 Olympics. I mean, they were discussing it then. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron and his people are talking to some other players and discussing forming a team somewhere else right now, not waiting for next season. So if you're a betting man, you say that LeBron is going to walk after this year. What the Cavs did, though, is that they gave themselves the best chance to win right now with a player like Isaiah Thomas and protected themselves with that pick moving forward. So it's not a bad deal. If you had to trade Kyrie Irving, this is as good as you're going to get back for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I like Jake Crowder there. I don't know about the big man. I know that Fran Fraschilla likes him. He's a former number 1 pick and maybe gives them a little nastiness in the middle. But I look at
he can't defend anybody. I mean, there were summer league guys that are going to be open up a Dairy Queen that Ante Zizic was getting beat by in summer league. I mean, it was not a good look.
But he's not the worst defender in this trade. That would be Kyrie Irving.
Look, Kyrie's a bad defender, but did you see Isaiah in the playoffs last year? I mean, they had to hide Isaiah Thomas all over the floor. I mean, the Wizards series was a debacle for Isaiah because there really wasn't a spot you could hide him on with Bradley Beal on the other side. Kyrie Irving's not a great defender, but I don't look at it like Boston just got significantly worse defensively because of this trade.
How do you think Gordon Hayward feels about this trade?
I think he's got to feel pretty good. I mean, he didn't have any allegiance to Isaiah. I mean, Isaiah, partly recruited him and was I don't know if he was the reason he came here, but he was certainly one of them. But you got another great point guard, and you got a guy that's younger. And it's not like these two guys play that significantly different. I mean, both Kyrie and Isaiah Thomas are ball-dominant point guards. And the Brad Stevens effect here, it can't be discounted. Brad is an elite head coach, and he's going to find new and unique ways, I think, to make things work with Kyrie and Gordon Hayward.
I know you not only cover the NBA, but you cover boxing, and you have covered every Mayweather fight since 2007. Give me his strategy in this fight coming up this Saturday. Best guess how Mayweather counteracts Conor McGregor.
Well, I mean, just standing in the ring is probably going to do it. Conor McGregor is not going to touch him. And look, this whole glove thing, Dan, every Mayweather fight I've covered, this guy dictates what laces you wear on your gloves. He tells you what brand you wear in your gloves. The fact that Mayweather is completely indifferent to what Conor McGregor puts on his hands, that tells me everything I need to know about this fight. That tells me that Mayweather knows that this guy can't touch him. Have you been watching the Showtime All Access series, like the ones they've been doing? Mayweather, in addition to being the star of it, is also the executive producer. There's a reason that every time you see Mayweather, he's riding on a bike in Miami. He's at one of his strip clubs. They're trying to create a reality for people that says Mayweather's not taking this seriously at all, and McGregor has a chance. He has no chance. There's no need for a strategy. He's going to go in there, and McGregor's going to tire out after a couple of rounds, and Mayweather's going to stop him inside 8.
You can't say that he has no chance. He has a chance because he's getting in the ring with him. He has a chance.
Okay, how do you want to – I mean, what percent chance do you want me to give it?
Paulie has a bet here. What's the propose?
I have a fair bet to propose to the room.
All right.
Conor McGregor ends the fight on his feet, win or lose, but he does not get knocked out. That's the bet. Who wants whatever side?
Well, Mannix, doesn't he have a wheel of punishment that he has to face anyways? He said this fight wasn't going to happen. So you're already getting punished for that, Mannix. You want to double down?
No, I already doubled down, if you recall. If McGregor wins, I have to shave my head.
Okay.
That was the yeah. Well, you want me to triple down?
Yeah.
What more do you want me to do here?
Do you want that bet? If anybody will take the bet that Conor McGregor does not get knocked out? Anybody want a piece of that with Mannix?
I will take that bet. Look, the referee's going to have to stop this. McGregor's team they're a bunch of lunatics, and McGregor's a lunatic too. He's never going to quit in this fight. But I think when you get to the 8th round, and Mayweather's not a big puncher, Dan, but he's a very accurate puncher. And when he starts peppering that under the eye and the nose, and he starts beating him up, I think the referee's going to say enough is enough. This fight's over in the 8th.
Seton, do you want a piece of Chris Mannix?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in. I'll say Conor McGregor does not get knocked out.
Okay. Mannix, you good with that?
I'm good with that. This is really a tripling down, Like, what else am I going to lose here? An eyebrow?
Well, we can put that on the wheel of punishment.
Great.
Now, I need to find out where you're going to be soon after the fight, because I'm going to have to. You got to spin the wheel. Are you on vacation?
I am on vacation. I would like to have some kind of rules here because we're getting dangerously close to basketball season and TV season, which means I don't think I can shave my head in early September, but I will agree to doing it in late July, early July.
All right. Well, there'll be other things on the wheel of punishment. You may lose an eyebrow, though, for the upcoming NBA season.
Awesome. That's great.
Thank you, Chris. Enjoy the fight.
All right, Dan.
That's Chris Mannix, Yahoo Sports, the vertical NBA analyst, and host of the Chris Mannix show on NBC Sports Radio.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.
I forgot that